Before I go on the Bahamas trip, I've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of the same questions, many of which have gone unanswered because I get them pretty often. So I decided to do this video. I felt like it was a great time since we're going into hurricane season and go over plans and all the other questions you've asked. So I asked everyone to submit some questions, so I wrote them down along with some that I've had in the past over and over and over. So I'm going to take this episode to explain stuff and kind of answer those questions. And if you don't care, skip to the next episode. It's up on Patreon. If you don't want to go on Patreon and watch the next episode, we'll be back to diving and boating and all the things I love next week. I'm going to take a second for patrons only. I guess the first thing is I am 25 years old and my boat is a 1993 Beneteau Oceanus 510, so it's a 51-foot sailboat. I'm still doing some upgrades, but I am going to give you guys a boat tour when all those are done. It used to be a 5-bedroom, 5-head boat, and the previous owners have converted it to a 3-3. I have all of this information in another video, which I'm going to link. It should be up in the corner. And I went into a lot of detail on how I started and everything. That was like 2 years ago, so if you're interested, go check that video out. Second, I wrote down all these questions that you guys have been asking. How old am I? What boat do I have? I just answered that. When did you get Mako? Can he swim? Does he fall in? How did I train him? How did I train him with the harness? All of those things. So I got Mako when he was 4 weeks old. He was a foster kitten, and I decided to keep him night number 2. I think I went into this on the previous video as well. I did teach him to swim our second or third day that we were in the Bahamas on my boat, the very first trip. He does not like it, and I don't mind that he doesn't like it, but he does know how. He'll never jump off the boat willingly. Harness-wise, I put a harness on him when he was 5 weeks old, once I knew I was going to keep him, and I just kept putting the harness on him over and over. He did not like it at first. He still doesn't really love it, but he can walk in it and he'll do whatever he wants to in it. So I definitely recommend starting cats young if you want them to wear a harness. It helps so much. Does he fall in? Once in a while he will fall in. It's usually he's jumped off the bow of the boat before, and sometimes he'll just end up in my bed soaking wet. So I do have a rope that hangs off of the back of the boat, and he does know how to use that. What are my hurricane plans? It is already June, so I guess it's July. And yeah, I'm not running to Grenada right now, and I'm not going to run to Grenada until August. The boat is being kept in St. Lucia. It's in a kind of what they call a hurricane hole. It's a really nice marina, and it's going to block a lot of the wind. If a hurricane does come while I'm gone, the boat is in a very safe spot. When I get back, I'm going to continue doing the Caribbean until late August, and then I'm going to haul out again in Spice Island Marine and keep the boat there through hurricane season. And the main reason for that is because I'm going to be traveling and I know it's safe there and I don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, I would not be going back to Grenada. I would continue sailing around the Caribbean and just keep watching the weather. What are my future sailing plans? Well, those are to be determined, but this time in Grenada, I am getting the boat ready for some bigger sails. I'm replacing all of the standing rigging, replacing the through holes and things like that. And I think that's the last amount of big upgrades I'll be doing. On the Grenada note, hydrovane. I have not gone into directly told you what's going on. So basically, I've adjusted it once and it fixed the first problem. The second problem is the davit arms for my dinghy aren't at the right angle. So when I go to Grenada, I'm getting those re-welded, and the hydrovane should work after that. So I'm very excited to try it. It's been almost a year of having it and not being able to use it. So I'm very excited to try it, and that will be fixed in Grenada this year. Autopilot's working pretty good. As far as the windlass goes, when I go to the States, I'm bringing parts back and that will fix it. So that should be a quick fix and all good. It's not, I do want to point out, it's not the chain. I had the windlass worked on about 2 years ago in Florida because the installers in Puerto Rico misaligned it and messed it up big time. So I had authorized dealers service it, and it's not misaligned. It is the right chain for the Gypsy, so it's just one little part that needs fixed and it will be good to go. Oh, this is the question I get. I'd say every video I get multiple comments about this. I get DMs about this. Am I married and do I have a boyfriend? The answer to both of these is no. I am definitely not married and I do not have a boyfriend. So I don't really know why this matters too much, but I'm very single. The other question I get a lot is about free diving, especially when I'm posting a lot of diving videos. I think the most common one is how long can I hold my breath? I don't know how many of you know this, but I am a freedive instructor and I don't get to freedive as much here in the Caribbean as I used to in the Bahamas, and part of that is because I'm not with people all the time and we're not diving all the time. My longest ever breath hold was a static breath hold, just laying in the pool, not actively diving, and that was 4 minutes. And my diving, say like a really good dive for me is about 2.5 minutes, but on average it's probably, on these shallow dives it's probably 45 seconds. On a longer, deeper dive it could be 60 to 90 seconds at the moment. I don't dive a lot, so my breath hold isn't amazing right now. Do I get lonely? No, I really don't get lonely too much. I think I'm usually with a lot of great people around and we all work. We're all busy constantly. The boats take so much of any boat owner's attention and we're busy constantly along with YouTube and that kind of thing. So I don't get lonely often, and usually there's at least one other boat around that I can go either meet or a friend around that I can go talk to if I did get lonely. I will say I was with a lot of people this past season and it's been so much fun. And then I left everyone and I went to Guadeloupe, which is a French-speaking island, and I don't speak any French. And most of the people on that island don't speak any English. I'd say that was the loneliest I've ever been living on the boat because I couldn't even really go to land and speak to anyone. Whereas the Bahamas and other English-speaking countries, I can at least go up to the bar, go into a restaurant, and meet people. So that was the loneliest time I've had on the boat, but I was not lonely. I was also just really ready to leave the boat and take a little break, so that combination did not help, but I wouldn't say I get lonely often. What do I do for money? Well, you're watching it. You're helping me make money this second. So we make money off of YouTube by crowdfunding. So I think I said that right. So I'm sorry if this isn't exactly, like the terms aren't exactly right. But basically those ads that you see on my videos or below the videos, I'm earning money through those ads. So YouTube pays me for being able to place ads on my video, around my video, things like that. So that is where I make my money, which allows me to continue doing what I do and honestly just putting money back into the boat to make me and Mako safe. And I'm sorry he's not out here with me right now. He is napping. How do I sleep at night? I get this question both at anchor and while I'm sailing. And when I'm at anchor, it's pretty simple. It's just like you'd be at your home, in your bed. I'm not moving. I do not sleep great on the boat because you never know what could happen. And just like the incident I showed last week, that type of thing can happen and it does get stressful. So I'd say I don't sleep as well on the boat as I do on land. And then regarding sailing, I've mentioned it a couple times, but I just take naps. So when I'm sailing closer to land or in areas with a lot of boat traffic, I'll take 20-minute naps throughout the night. When I'm further offshore, I may take an hour nap at a time. But I just take naps and I set my alarm all the time, and I have a radar alarm, AIS alarm, and wind alarm. So I know if the wind is shifting dramatically to where I would need to adjust the sails, and if a boat is in proximity of me. So that is how I sleep during sailing and at anchor. I think those are most of the questions you guys have asked. I know that, so my future plans and what's coming up next is a couple weeks in the Bahamas, and then I'm going home to visit family in my hometown in Joplin. And then after that, I come back to the boat and I'm going to be sailing the Caribbean for a couple more months before I haul out in Grenada. I will be going back to Spice Island Marine, doing a little bit of boat work. And that is when I will be flying to Greece to work with the Odyssey Festival. And some of my amazing patrons are going to be on a boat with me, and we'll be sailing around Greece for a week. And then after that, I will be at the Annapolis Boat Show this year, and all the details for that will be coming soon. But I hope you enjoyed this little catch up with me, and if you enjoyed it, I will definitely do it again sometime. So please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it and what else you'd like to know for next time. So thank you, and I appreciate you all so much for helping me live this dream and keep me safe, keep Mako safe, and keep this boat floating. It means so much to me, and yeah, I hope you all have an amazing Friday and an amazing weekend.